What is going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. This is the channel where we sit down and cover different comic book stories from Marvel, DC, and even IDW as well. But today, we're going to jump back over to Marvel Comics, and we're going to pick up with Daredevil once again. And guys, we are finally here. The big war in Hell's Kitchen. The big war between Daredevil, the Owl, Stiltman, Rhino, Bullseye, the Strawmans, Kingpin, almost everybody we saw in the last couple videos are going to battle it out in Hell's Kitchen in this video right here. So if you do like today's comic book video, please hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the near future. But guys, I do hope you enjoy today's video. To start today's video, we see some of the police officers still looking for the Owl. Remember, in our last video, he kidnapped the daughter of Tom and Mindy Libris. But while the police officers are looking for him, they are attacked by a group of villains who were hired by the Strawmans to attack the city. Remember that the Strawmans, these rich people, plan to bring up the crime rate, and so they hired the villains to wreck Hell's Kitchen, then flip the area for profit. The villains here are Rhino, Stiltman, Bullseye, Bullet, and Crossbones. Now outside of Hell's Kitchen, we see Cole North and Daredevil trying to get back into the city after saving the kidnapped daughter of Mindy and Tom Libris. Except you have the cops stopping them because they were ordered to keep people out of Hell's Kitchen while the villains wrecked the area. And so of course Cole North and Daredevil speed into the city because they know something is up. We get another page by Zdarsky, I know I just butchered his name, had established that people in Hell's Kitchen were stepping up as fake Daredevil while the real one was missing. For example, Hector, he is one of them, and he is seeing his city burning, and so he jumps in to help out to protect Hell's Kitchen. But getting back to the villains, we are seeing the city being torn apart by these villains and people are running for their lives. It is a bloodbath for Hell's Kitchen. There are no heroes and there are no police, just people on their own hoping that this nightmare will end soon. I mean, there's Hector who jumps in and tries to stop Bullseye, but we know he does not stand a chance against someone like Bullseye. But we continue the idea that Hector wasn't just the only one who pretended to be Daredevil. There were others, and you'll see what I mean here in a minute. Now getting back to Cole North and Daredevil, we see them trying to get into the city. They are trying to stop this madness, except that is when they are attacked by Stiltman, one of the villains who crashed their car, which does send Daredevil flying out of the car and hitting the pavement really hard. Getting back to Hector, we see him try to stand up against Bullseye only to end up getting stabbed by Bullseye. To add to the madness, we see the Owl and his gang members watching over the war. He decides to jump into the war. We also see that Cole North is okay, but he jumps in and tries to defend the city by trying to take on Bullet by himself. We can't forget about Rhino. We see him staring down Sister Elizabeth in the church that Matt was going to. Sister Elizabeth was trying to have people hide in there, but Rhino tells her she has 10 minutes to get her and everyone out of there before he wrecks the church. We even see Kingpin watching his city burn as well from a distance. He's been staying away ever since the Strawmans had embarrassed him. The question is, will he help his city out now? Still not done yet adding to the madness, because we skip back over to Sister Elizabeth. This was the shocking moment of the book, where you have Sister Elizabeth start talking crazy about how she was placed here and given a new life. For us to find out that she is Mary Typhoid, a character who usually has multiple personality issues. Someone placed her here and now she is on the loose. Finally, we see that Daredevil is up, but he gets up to find Hector bleeding out on the ground. And so he was able to pick up Hector, and we see that Daredevil is able to hear what is happening to his city. And so with that, he catches one of the knives of Bullseye's and gets up to challenge him and the rest of the villains, letting us see the return of Daredevil in Hell's Kitchen. But before we get to see the fight between Daredevil and the villains, we introduce a character we have not seen in this run until now, where someone is calling for help, but when she calls for the police, of course, there's no answer. So she called the Daily Bugle, and the person who is a close friend of Daredevil and works there is no other than Ben Urich. This is important because if the lady was not able to get a hold of the police and Hell's Kitchen is not on any social media, means that someone is blocking everything. And so Ben Urich goes to Hell's Kitchen to investigate. But getting back to Daredevil and Cole North, we see him fighting against the forces of the villains, which honestly, I like the idea of how they give Cole North the one villain he would be able to handle, which of course is Bullet. But Daredevil is fighting against Bullseye, bringing back that classic battle between them. Now we can't forget about Stiltman, since he is one of those embarrassing Daredevil villains, but you have Daredevil temporarily remove Stiltman by just deflecting a bomb back at Stiltman. Now Daredevil does see Mary and realize that she was Sister Elizabeth and now she is on the loose. But we watch her take on Rhino with her pyrokinesis powers, but Daredevil grabs her. The reason why he grabbed her is because he knows he needs some help. And right now, he does not have that many options of people who can help him fight these villains. And so he sends her away to handle Rhino, while he stays behind to handle Stiltman, which is cool because Daredevil knows that Stiltman is a nobody. Someone that is on the D list of villains. But long story short, he takes care of Stiltman and continues on with the other villains. Now when he gets there, at first he is able to dodge a couple of them, but then he runs into the Owl. The Owl catches him off guard, which makes it seem that this could be the end of Daredevil, except that is when we see that Daredevil has backup. And that will be the citizens of Hell's Kitchen to show that Daredevil had inspired them and they will protect their city. But then we see the Kingpin join in on the battle as well to show that at the worst times, Kingpin will help Daredevil when it comes to protecting his hometown. This leads into a few pages where we watch Daredevil work. I would say Daredevil and his allies he made, but in reality, it is more of Daredevil because he is the star of the book. Now, he does not take everyone down for the count. We do see that Bullseye is able to get away, but Rhino, Bullet, and Stiltman are taken care of. I want to say Crossbones is also taken out too. But Daredevil was able to take care of the villains and save the city. The Owl is taken out by Cole North with him shooting the Owl in the back. But this story ends on 2 pages. The first being that Daredevil figured out that somehow and for some reason the Kingpin was the one who made Mary Typhoid into Sister Elizabeth in the church. But before we can learn why, that is when the Kingpin ordered Cole North to arrest Daredevil. Because again, being a vigilante is still illegal in New York. But Daredevil tells Cole North to arrest him for a different reason, which is the fact he killed a kid in our first video of this run. And this is where we're going to end today's video. Guys, oh my gosh. This run is amazing. I love this story so far, but it only gets better after this. So we wrapped up the Gang War storyline, but now we get into what I call Elektra becoming Daredevil. But guys, Like I said, this is the end of today's video, so please hit that like button down below and also subscribe to the channel for more content to come in the near future. Also, any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. I'll see y'all next time. Later.